Hi everybody, how are you doing out there? I hope life is good. My name is Dino V and welcome to my channel. First of all, if I would like you to like this, quite simple, please like it and subscribe. Subscriptions and likes can really chuck me up, make me go higher. Is it the algorithms on YouTube, and more people can see these, and the more people that do these, the more I will put on. But what I am looking at doing is, excuse me, during lockdown, I have various Facebook groups, and I used to do quizzes. I'm going to put these down because they get a bit heavy on here. I used to do pop quizzes on there. When I say quizzes, I used to do Paul McCartney and Beatles quizzes. Now, that was great if you was on Facebook. If you weren't, you couldn't do it. I also did other general pop quiz, whether it be the 60s, 70s or 80s. So I'm looking at doing quizzes on YouTube, but I need more subscribers to do this because not everybody watching this has Facebook. So subscribe if you want to take part in free quizzes on Paul McCartney and the Beatles, and I may even do general pop quizzes. It's fun, you don't win anything, it costs you nothing, on YouTube and also on Facebook. So like and subscribe. I'm not going to keep going on about it, you know what to do. This video here is about my finds, Dino's finds. So I went out yesterday and had a mooch around like you do, to look at some items, and I found some lovely little things. So with no further ado, I'm going to show you what I bought. So you may have seen this. This is Paul McCartney, I should say Wings, 12-inch single of Good Night Tonight, issued in 1979. I love the pictures on here. Pretty cool, aren't they? It's not especially rare, but and I don't know why I buy spare copies of things. It's just a habit of mine, but there we go. So on this, on side one, you have got Good Night Tonight, which is the long version. And on side B, you've got Daytime Good Night. What was I going to say? Daytime Good Night Suffering. I can't think. Daytime, nighttime suffering. My goodness. I need a sleep or a drink or both. So that was one of the things I bought, and it didn't cost much. So Good Night Tonight. I love the videos that Wings filmed at the time. And as I say, this is a long version as well. I'm trying to see if it says how long the long version is. No, there's no time for it on here. I know you can get the long version on a Now That's What I Call Music 12-inch mixes CD that came out in, I believe, 2023, but there's no time on here, and there's no time on the sleeve either. But the catalogue number is 12Y R6023. So a great Wings single from 1979 with a longer version, if I can get it in the sleeve. So that was one thing I got. Now, what else did I get? This is a lovely magazine. This is Mojo, which came out in 2021. This is part one. So it was a Lennon and McCartney Mojo Collector Series, Lennon McCartney, and this is part one, Lennon. It's an incredible magazine, and the McCartney one came out in May 2021. It has some beautiful features in here. There you go, gives you a list there. There's the index, or forward I should say, telling you everything that's inside it. So it's a stunning magazine. I'm trying to see how many words, how many pages there are. About 130 pages in this. Goes all through John's life. There's John with May Pang. I nearly said May Pong then. I do apologise. It's not even funny, is it? Some absolutely cracking photographs in here. I'd go as far as saying there's a lot of photographs in here which I hadn't seen before. So it covers the early days and the Beatles, and I think that's the Daily How magazine that John Lennon wrote. You know, early picture there of Stu, John, Paul, is it Johnny and George? I think that's when they were doing an audition, was it for Larry Parnes to go on tour? Was it? I think it was from Billy Fury's band, but they didn't get the gig, did they? Look at that gorgeous picture of John and Yoko there. So that's Mojo in 2021, a Lennon special collector series. If you haven't got it, highly recommend getting that, say part one, and this is in 2 deluxe volumes. I think I've got part 2 of Paul's somewhere. Lovely magazine. So that's 2 items I got. This book here, if you haven't got this, but if you're like a John Lennon fan, this is an absolutely essential book. Do you know, I seem to send everything's essential, but this really is. This is John Lennon, One Day at a Time by Anthony Fawcett. This came out in 1976. Now, Anthony worked for John and Yoko between 1968 and 97. If you look here, it says a personal, is it biography? No, a personal biography of the 70s. So Anthony spent a long time with John and Yoko, covering many events that they were at, where they were planting acorns. I think that's the acorns, isn't it, in Coventry? Yes, it is. It is. I mean, wow, John and Yoko did so many things, didn't they? What they did in 1969 is incredible. Obviously, many years later, there's John and Yoko, and they got married in Gibraltar. And in here, look at that. Look at the photos there of the Fab Four with new manager. I forgot his name then. He said Brian Klein, Alan Klein, and Yoko. Paul not looking very happy. He's putting on a fake smile and fake laugh. So go in here in this book, which is a hardback. Now, I hadn't had it on hardback. I've got it on paperback. So the chapters on it's got the Ballad of John and Yoko, the bed-ins, the media saturation campaign, Canada, Apple, the breakup of the Beatles, Meat City, New York, Power to the People, Lennon versus the US. Then you've got the poet and painter in his own right, the erotic lithographs. And there's also a lovely chronology. Is it chronology? Chronology. And chronology in the back as well, listing all Lennon releases. Going from 1940 all the way up to 1976. So it goes up to July 1976, where it says John's application to remain in the United States as a permanent resident is formally approved. And it lists the albums right up and the singles right up to Stand By Me. So brilliant book, fascinating stuff, and as I say, so many photographs that you won't have seen anywhere else. So that is John Lennon, One Day at a Time by Anthony Fawcett. If you haven't got it, get the book. Now, they're all good items to me, but these two are quite special. So I picked up another copy of John Lennon's 1971 Imagine album. Pretty standard for the normal issue. There's no poster in here, no postcard, and it hasn't got the what do you call it, spiral credits and lyrics and everything inside. It's on Apple. The usual picture of John. Side 2. And the catalogue number is PAX 10084. I think I should start wearing glasses. PAS 10004. Anyway, so it's the John Lennon Imagine album. But I didn't buy it for this. What I bought it for was this. Now, have you seen this before? When Apple used to issue singles or albums, they usually have a leaflet, promotional thing issued with many of them. And it's quite clever being Apple and being a fruit and a fresh apple. A great idea. I don't know who came up with the idea. I don't know if it was Tony Barrow or Neil Aspinall or what's his name, Derek Taylor. But they used to sometimes get these, a lovely little piece of paper saying fresh from Apple. Now, you may have seen some of these. They're quite rare as it is, but I've never seen this. So on this, look at that bottom there. It's got the release date. Did you see that? So it's got the release date, 8th of October 1971. So it was a day before John's birthday. And the artist, and it's got Lennon stroke P.O. band. So it's got Lennon Plasticona band, which is really interesting because if you think this was credited and down as a solo John Lennon album, but the Apple sheet of paper says, and I quote, Lennon P.O. band. I've never seen this before. I think it's quite fascinating. A lot of the time you tend to see these pieces of paper, but without that writing at the bottom. So it might have fresh from Apple, and that's what you see. But to have that is quite unique. So that's why I bought the album, to get that. I know, we're all mad buying Beatles stuff. And I also bought this, which is very interesting. So this is the Beatles' first single of 1968 and the last one on Parlophone, Lady Madonna. British release, Parlophone R5675, and on the B side you've got the Inner Light, which was the first time up to that time in 1968 that George Harrison had a credit on a Beatles single. It's got this sticker on, which I don't think is an original 90s, 60s single. EMI Records, looks like it's a 70s or 80s, and I've got Lady Madonna, but I bought it from this. Sometimes it's not the vinyl, the record you're buying it for, it's this. Now, you may be aware, when Lady Madonna come out, the Beatles Fan Club issued these pieces of paper which were inside with some of the singles, not all, and these are quite hard to get as well, and this hasn't even been detached. And reading this, it says, the official Beatles Fan Club, you can receive a fabulous free poster offer if you apply on this by, I think it's July. There is a date in it somewhere because I did read it. You have to apply to good old Frida Kelly, the official Beatles Fan Club, PO Box 12, Liverpool 1. Please note, membership is open only to the residents of the United Kingdom and air, or I always think you say air, don't you? And the special poster offer is valid only until July the 31st, 1968. It says on the back, Beatles book monthly, 2 shillings. Place a regular order now with your local news agent for the Beatles' own official magazine. Keep in touch with John, Paul, George and Ringo. It says on the front here, official Beatles Fan Club, National Secretary, good old Frida. It doesn't say good old Frida, but Frida Kelly. So have you seen that before? That's really nice to have. That's quite a unique item to have. So buying those items yesterday, I was very happy, especially to get this fresh from Apple promotional piece of paper for John Lennon's Imagine, and this that came with Lady Madonna, and you can join the Beatles official fan club and receive a fab poster. I hope you enjoyed that. I certainly enjoyed purchasing them to add more stuff to the ever-growing collection. Please like and subscribe. It takes a second or two and it really can help me. And as I say, if you like quizzes and things, I would like to do them, but I want more subscribers before I start doing it. Also join my Facebook groups, Coming Up the World of Paul McCartney and the Beatles. And if you own the Paul McCartney 7-inch single box, or if you own the Paul McCartney 3x3 edition vinyls, then join my Facebook groups on those. Thank you very much. Take care. I appreciate you all joining, but if you want me to do quizzes and everything, and they are good fun, unite fans around the world, subscribe. So once I've got enough subscriptions and likes, I shall start doing live quizzes, and they will be very, very good fun. Believe me. Take care. Thanks for watching. This is Dino V saying goodbye to you and ciao.